So I'm in the Philippines reading Jose Garcia Villa's divine poems, and they're profound works. And one of the things that I like about it is, and that I think is still relevant, maybe even more relevant now than when he wrote it, is his immersion in like what you might call a kind of post-Protestant secularism, but coming to that and being immersed in that with a Catholic imagination and a Catholic sensibility in touch with the Catholic tradition. And so you get this kind of struggle to articulate that within this modernist context. And part of the way that he'll kind of justify that, I think, is with a whole lot of modernist gimmicks that he himself says you can just ignore at times. And those gimmicks include, like novel rhyme schemes and novel punctuation and these kind of E.E. Cummings like experiments with the word on the page. But if you read these orally, they lose all that, as all poetry does, and as all lyric poetry kind of demands to be sung. None of that stuff really matters. And so, and I myself, I was really enthralled with E.E. Cummings when I was about 12. I loved it. I still often write things without capitals and think it looks cool. And, so there's some, there's some kind of bohemian coolness to those kind of innovations. But at this point, I think we find ourselves at the end of this long juncture of modernism, still with modernism making sense of our experience, but with this also our lived sense of having come to the end of that. At least that's what I have. And those kind of gimmicks just kind of annoy me at this point. But reading Villa in the Philippines now out loud, a different sensibility, I think, arises. These are his divine poems. If my sun set in the west, I could not bear it. If my sun set in the west, I could not bear it. And if it rose in the east, I must annul it. Myself demands rarest circuit. For natural history to set in the west, but my son's imperial sea hath this reversed, to reach all lands, exquisite and first. God said, I made a man out of clay, but so bright he spun himself to brightest day, till he was all shining gold. And oh, he was lovely to behold, but in his hand held he a bow, aimed at me, who created him. And I said, wouldst thou murder me? Who am I, thy fountainhead? Then spoke he, the man of gold, I will not murder thee, but do I measure thee? Hold thy peace. And this I did, and I was curious of this so regal head. Give thy name, Sir Genius. Countering the general eye, surpass it quietly, these eyes stay in private sockets to detect the invisible current whose metrics is immortality and consequence thereof. These lines of pain penetrate. Do not touch here unless you are prepared or can sustain the hidden voltage. Move away, gaze away, or yield to self graciously too. Sir, I commend to you the spirit of Lucifer, who was the most beautiful and wore that proud skull, rebellion, like a jewel exquisite. I adjure you to meekly admit that seething genius, pre-punctual, forward to all the historical. I beg you to give him his meat. Brightest of archangels and brightest of demons, proud, incomparable Lucifer, I alone of all men remember and praise that magnificent zest that sent God frantic to abuse and doom this first pioneering genius. Come to a conference with me, we will confer about, till you are in doubt. This is the first consequence. Come to a conference with me, we will confer about, till you reject without. This is the second circumstance. Come to a conference with me, we will confer about, till you see God turned about. This is the immortal consequence. 54. Now if you will look in my brain, you will see not because, but cause. Strict rose whose clean light utters all my pain, dwelleth there my God, with a strict rod and a most luminous mane. And he whippeth, lo how he whippeth. Oh, see the rod's velocity, in utterest unmercy, carve, inflict upon this brow the majesty of its doomed now. 55. Myself solving myself, myself I and seen, patient and psychologue, with only God between, standing proud, immutable, dark, impenetrable, the power that balanceth me, pierceless, immovable. Away, my Lord, away, leave thou a path to see this formidable clay. Create graceful vacancy, resign this regency, else bear the terrible hell of Creator swerved aside by mortal's brave scalpel. I was not young long. I met the soul early, who took me to God at once, and seeing God the incomparable sight, I knelt my body humbly, whereupon God saw the star upon my brow, stooped to kiss it, and then, winding radiance there, explosion of all my earthness, sparks flying, till I was all embers. Long did God hold me, till he arose and bade me to rise, saying, now go back. Now go back from where you came. Go back. Understanding is yours now. Only beware, beware, since you and God have leveled. '58. My mouth is very quiet, reverencing the luminous of my brain. If words must find an outlet, they must work with jeweled pain. They must cut away the immaculate to leave the brain incorrupt. They must repay their debt like archangels undropped. The miracle of the word is to my mouth the miracle of God in my brain. Archangels holding to his north and south, his east and west by inviolable chain. An archangel upon my mouth, may blow his silver trumpet, but he holds to his north and south, blows, and again is quiet. The way my ideas think me is the way I unthink God. As in the name of heaven, I make hell. That is the way the Lord says me. And all is adventure and danger, and I roll him off cliffs and mountains. But fast as I am to push him off, fast as I am to reach him below. And it may be then his turn to push me off. I wait breathless for the terrible second. And if he push me not, I turn around in anger. Oh, art thou the God I would have? Then he pushes me and I plunge down. And when he comes to help me up, I put my arms around him saying, brother, brother. This is the way we are.